What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. I'm out here today with Mr. Kumar D. Johnson from Richmond, Virginia. Now, listen, y'all know DC area folks, y'all be doing the most. But I love when we connect because the energy be right. Now, I met Mr. Kumar at an event in 2019 in San Diego, and I was like, okay, the vibe, right? So, but I just like people with good energy, and I think that was the funniest part that day. We went to go eat. We were just excited. We were all riding in this car together. Good energy, right, from this event. And so I got him here today, and he gonna break out some good information for y'all because a lot of people talk about, oh, brick and mortar's dead, and I've told y'all several times. My family owns several little tire shops. My nephew's family, my sister-in-law's, baby daddy, owns his family owns several tire shops and car shops in North Carolina. And people say, "Oh, that little place ain't making no money." I said, "But they got 10 of them. So let's really do the math, right?" So brick and mortar makes a lot of money for folks, and don't sleep on brick and mortar. So, Mr. Kumar Johnson, I gave a roundabout introduction. Do us a better introduction of yourself for us
I
folks.
I greatly appreciate you having me on the show. Super excited, humbled, and also it's Kamard, which I knew you were gonna butcher because everybody does it. So no offense,
Listen, he about to be Mr. Johnson.
but yeah, guys, Kamard D. Johnson, based out of Richmond, Virginia, born and bred here, entrepreneur. Have businesses in the commercial tire space, obviously real estate as well as the entertainment industry. But my bread and butter, my focus, my main thing is definitely the commercial truck tire stores that we've now turned into a chain. And as Ericka has mentioned, brick and mortar is alive and well for sure. I think the e-commerce and online aspect of things is great. But I think in a lot of ways is exaggerated in the aspect of how varying it is between that and brick and mortar. And so, I mean, if you just look at a juggernaut like Amazon, they wouldn't be going into the brick and mortar space if it wasn't lucrative, for sure.
For sure. Listen, y'all eat me up every time I mess up somebody's name on this channel. Y'all, I have a speech impediment. I worked on it as a child with a New York teacher, so I speak fast, but it ain't always right. So Kumar, okay, I feel you. Okay, I'm gonna do it right. Mr. Johnson is his name. Y'all be tripping. All right, but drop that city and state in the chat so we know where you guys are, so we can, like, when we plan events, classy climb tours, meetups. Like this weekend, y'all blew up the staff talking about where was the Detroit meetup. I ain't say I was doing no meetups in Detroit. I just said I was going to Detroit. So the staff was confused, like, where the restaurant, where the meetup. So again, what made you pick tires though?
Funny
Because you have a
story.
collection of things you do. We're gonna hop into that, but what made you pick
Yeah,
tires?
yeah. For it was never my plan, truthfully. Quick synopsis: my brother founded the company
Hmm.
2016. At that time, I was a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual, doing my own thing, and everything was well from a financial aspect. And obviously, we would talk, right? That's my brother. And so I knew things were going well for him. And I always use the analogy when people ask me this question. He already had a really good team, so it was
Ah,
almost like the Golden State Warriors when they had just won the championship. And then they go out and bring in Kevin Durant. And so for me, it was kind of like that situation. My mom was really much so in my ear, very much about joining him. Obviously, I knew again he had some really good things going on. It was a solid business for himself with
hmm.
the way he had it structured. He started it literally out of his shed in his backyard,
That's
7 used
wild.
tires, like really like a Negro. Uh, not Tim. What's the guy's name?
Dill, Michael
Yeah,
Dill,
like that, or your
Apple, all of them.
yeah, Wozniacki and
Hmm.
Steve Jobs. And so, yeah, really a Negro out of the backyard, out of the garage type of setup. And, he was doing well. He was doing about 400K.
Hmm.
And I had some suggestions on some things that, I felt he could add that would really be able to blow it up larger. And he's like, look, man, unless you're going to come in with me, all of this stuff is just way more than what I'm willing to take on by myself. And
Facts.
so I mulled it over. And because I looked at it and I felt I could always go back to corporate America if I wanted to do that. That's not going anywhere.
And
But
Northwest
the
Mutual
opportunity,
be they call you. What you doing? No.
yeah, serious prospecting, follow up, big deal.
Hmm.
But the realization of being able to potentially build something bigger than myself with my brother just was
Mhm.
an opportunity that I didn't feel like I could turn up. And I, again, felt like he definitely was on to something, just looking at how he went from his shed in his backyard to having a 5,000 square foot warehouse maybe in 6 months from there. And like
Yeah.
I said, jumped from 7 used tires to 400K. And so I'm like, he definitely is proving out the concept. Like it's there, the market is there, but I just had a different strategy and a vision for it. And so joined officially January 1st, 2019. And
Mhm.
since then, we have acquired 2 additional properties that we're now in the process of turning into location 2 and location 3 in different parts of the state. Super excited about that.
I
Pretty
know.
fast.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Super fast growth for sure. Um,
Mhm.
and it's just really been focusing on operations and the customer experience. Those are 2 things that I feel like for many people that get into business, especially that have that personality of charisma, which
Mhm.
most, in a sense, entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs on that quest, business owners have. I feel like the promotional side of things, the sales side of things is natural, but I feel like a lot of us overlook the operational piece, and it's a very key piece for real scale. Um,
Listen. Whew.
so yeah, that has been one of the biggest contributors to our success, in my opinion.
So here's something that what I heard you say, and this is what I love about it. Your brother was running operations, daily operations. You come in talking to him about, hey, you should do this and do that, which a lot of people from the outside do for business owners, and we're so swamped, head down in the grind, that even if you have a great idea, we ain't gonna be able to take it on.
Right.
And that's why I tell people sometimes when it comes to coaching, you don't take it personal. This person just is deep in, like they know they need to hit the next level, but they may not want to. I've met a lot
Yeah,
of guys who just literally have a little repair shop. They keep it steady, keeps them in 6 figures, and they keep rolling
absolutely.
because semi trucks, when the tire go, you got to put another tire on there. That ain't even a choice.
Legit.
So, talk a little bit more about as you work together, because really this is a multified story. You're working with family. You're coming in with new ideals. How was that transition? Was it tough at all? Was it like, oh man?
Yeah, that's a great question. I oftentimes get posed with this as well, and people are like, "Man, how are you able to do business with your brother? I can't even be in the same room with my brother." And I'm like, "Yeah, I heard that a lot." And
You
I'll
have
be
your own
very
roles.
candid. For us, it is
Mhm.
by far on both ends. I can speak to this confidently. It's the biggest takeaway from what we're doing. Like the financial gain is great, the
Mhm.
accolades and all of the things that we're doing. Obviously, the employment that we're able to add to all of the people that are a part of our staff, and them being able to then obviously finance and take care of the expenses of their life expenditures is
Mhm.
all great. But the fact that we're able to do all of this together as brothers is by far the biggest value for us. And so I'll say, obviously in the beginning there was a learning curve for me. I knew nothing about tires, so of course
Mhm.
still really like the figurehead of the company. And as I started to really get sound with the product knowledge, and just, he's seen how dedicated I was to it, and then looking at the results of different things that I wanted to change, tweak, or implement, he graciously stepped out of the way and allowed me to just kind of, enhance
Take
it.
that role.
Yeah, and put my spin on it. And he's just had tremendous trust in me, and so a lot of that credit is to him, not me.
I mean, I love the pictures, right? Because here's the thing, y'all. He has 1,400 plus Google reviews.
Yeah,
That's not
5 star.
easy. Yeah, that's not even easy to get. Like, I want you to understand, like, I run across guys all the time who have like 20 reviews and they've been in business 10 years. So I just want y'all to understand, like there's components to marketing that you've hit that I'm like so proud of you. Cause literally, if I'm on the side of the road, who do I call? Oh my God, boom, here you go. Look at this. Look at these reviews. Look at these pictures. Like, this is a safe place. This is a legit place. I'm not gonna be ripped off, because that's what a lot of guys talk about all the time. Look at this. This Jason said with 5 stars. That's legit insane. He
I
does
appreciate
great
that, Jason.
business. And so, what's something you've experienced that, through this process, right? You're connecting with your brother, you're growing the business. What's something that kind of shocked you along the way?
How much opposition that we faced in the aspect of opposition from the ports, opposition from
Interesting.
obviously the corporate tire stores that have been in
Mm-hmm.
business for, ages. I mean, literally, we have a local company that a lot of guys and gals may not have ever even heard of, like a truck stop like Love's or the TA
Mm-hmm.
or Pilot. But they literally just celebrated like their 90th year in business, which to me is
Wow.
a huge feat. I mean, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, you know, they were threatened and are threatened by, the new kids on the block per se, which is us.
Mm-hmm.
And they did some things that definitely attempted to block certain things for us to happen, such as becoming a Michelin dealer, which is a huge feat.
Okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
so obviously there's a big underrepresentation of us in this space.
Mm-hmm.
And
Of
that's
minority business owners. Yeah.
yes. So that does come with a great deal of opposition, but also a great deal of responsibility, which is why I've become a lot more social, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Being on your platform, starting to post more online, because I get so many people that I run across on a local front that no one would ever meet or know, that is like, man, you need to speak out, because what you're
Yeah.
doing is nothing short of amazing. A, like you said, you're in business with your brother. B, you guys are a minority. C, you guys are in the space that historically has not been occupied by folks like us, and
Mm-hmm.
you're actually killing it. And so, yeah, that has definitely been one of the biggest shockers. I mean, really quickly, we had 3 containers of new tires seized for no given reason that
Wow.
cost us literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, only to then still not come out with having possession of them. And so it was definitely an attack. And it happens to many of us in different
Yeah.
industries and things. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
not something that I have any issue with, because it's a part of the fight that we sign up for if we want to go out and do anything to a high magnitude. If I wanted to stay small and not do anything that would make ripples, then I'm sure I wouldn't have as many of the attacks that has come our way. But overall, I'm a fighter, so yeah, we're in a
Listen,
good spot.
let me tell y'all. I'm gonna say this: when you come into some of these small towns, there's only been 4 or 5 people out there who's doing anything. So you, the new person, come in. I can't imagine Richmond, Virginia, which is right there near DC, full of minority people, but probably not ton of minority business owners. And that's just from hearsay, what I hear about Richmond. Right? I'm not from there. Um,
I'll
but
put
I
it to
want
you
to.
like this.
Go
Just
ahead.
remember, we're one of the original 13 colonies.
True, true, true. Listen, in North Carolina, I tell y'all, I jokingly say separate but equal. Like North Carolina will literally have just a batch of people up and over there. They got their own doctors, their own hospital, and everything, and folks never pay attention. Like, oh, Elizabethtown over there, they
Yeah.
got a whole college. Like, you know what I mean? And so, same with Greensboro, for a long time before now. But what I want you to understand, y'all, the part of why I'm bringing him on is I want you to understand that marketing, like you can have great business. Nobody knows about you. They can't interact with you, right? Also reviews matter. Google Plus reviews, pictures matter. I'm going through all these pictures just to give y'all the example of why when I get on people when they, oh, I got this business, and I go, where's your Google Places? Where's your this? Where's your that? So even part of the digital real estate course I'm teaching about having a blueprint. And it's not just being on Instagram and Facebook. I mean a literal Googleable, Google blueprint. Now he wanted to get these groceries on time to the Kroger, okay? I'm just like every picture I see, I'm like thinking of the story, like, man, I ran over something.
And really
Um,
quickly, those reviews is really just a testament to, again, the experience that we create for our customers.
mhm,
But mainly our staff, man. They're very aggressive about making sure that we really go that extra mile and not just do enough. Like, we
mhm.
really give a damn about our customers. And I think that that's a difference between us as well versus a lot of the corporate tire stores in the market, is
You're just a
just
number at those places.
right. That's it. It's just a transaction. And for us, we're very relationship based, and it goes a long way. I feel like the gentlemen and the women now, which is always like a big thing for me when I meet a
Yep.
female trucker, because it's just like mind boggling to me.
And she
But
wants to be safe
yes,
and not ripped off.
they appreciate
I'm telling. Oh, I love that decal. Look at that person. They getting it.
it.
Um, y'all, I'm geeking out about this because y'all don't understand how many times I'll go Google business and ain't no pictures. like 2 pictures, and they're bad. I just want to show y'all this. Jason said, how hard would it be to create your own trucking tire place? Is that what you're saying, Jason? I think that's what you're saying. Is if somebody wanted to start from scratch, how hard is it? Like, what's the averages of like startup costs?
Great question. Great question. And so it comes down to what it is that you're looking to invest, but
Hmm.
the biggest question would come down to mapping out financially what you're able to contribute, if you will, in
Hmm.
terms of your inventory, because that's
Hmm.
going to be your biggest startup cost, right?
Hmm.
And so obviously where we are now today is not how we started. Again, as I
Hmm.
mentioned, my brother founded the company with 7 used tires out of his shed in his backyard, which then moved to a warehouse where he might have had 100 tires. And so
Uh-huh.
it was gradual growth there. But um, what I would say to you, Jason, is if you're really interested, brother, I'd be more than happy to consult and talk with you. Go to the website, kamardjohnson.com. It's complimentary as a result of us being on the Classy Climb blog here with Ericka. So it's something I'm doing specifically for her. And so if you go to the website, you'll
Hey
literally
now, look
go
at that.
down and click on the consult, and free of charge, man. We can hop on a call. I can learn a little bit more about you and where you are financially and what it is that you're actually looking to do. And then, of course, set the right expectations for you. And I'm sure from there, you'll really be able to get a good idea of if and when this is something that you really like to pursue.
Let me go ahead and put it in here. Uh, I also put it in the description. So what's something you learned, when you were out there at now I don't know if you were scaling with systems or you were with Jeff, but
Jeff,
okay, Jeff. Okay. How important was business credit, having lines of credit to expansion?
great question. So, truthfully speaking,
Hmm.
till this day, we still have not really exercised that lane just yet. Everything has
Ah.
been self-funded. So I will say I'm sure it will be very
Hmm.
important as we continue to scale out. Like I say, going from 1 store to 3 stores, obviously what that does from a purchasing perspective. I mean, literally right now, we spend north of $250,000 on a monthly basis on inventory. So
Ooh, quarter of $1 million.
yeah.
250,000.
Yeah. So, and I'll tell you, right? So great
Hmm.
segue. Like right now, we found ourselves to be in a very stronghold position because what I anticipated in the first quarter is rearing its ugly head here in the fourth quarter, which is
Hmm.
you have a lot of people who do not have tires right now because of all
Yeah.
this going on with the shipping. The freight
Shipping.
is nuts right now. I mean, getting a container on a ship and
Hmm.
getting it to wherever your port is and actually getting it in a timely manner right now is just like good night. It's just
Good
not going to
luck.
happen. So we anticipated this, and so what we did was front loaded a lot of our purchasing. And like I said, that 250 was actually like an average because in a lot of months we were spending north of 350, 400 just so that we could hoard tires. And so now we're finding ourselves in a stronghold spot where people don't have the tire sizes and the positions we do. And of course, I mean, it's just business. That does put us in a position to charge more, but we've actually
Hmm.
kept things very casual, especially with our loyal and regular customer base. And it's really putting us in a situation where we're probably going to have the biggest fourth quarter that we've had in company history. No doubt about it.
Man, love it, love it, love it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Listen, that's a testament to cash flow management. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Phew, people don't understand. Like every big person I've ever watched, even myself when it came to trucking, I was like, "Ooh, this is a cash flow management thing. You have to pay attention. You have to set aside. You have to be ready."
But as you've
Um,
always said, though, you
mhm,
have to know your numbers. Like that is a
mhm.
real thing. Like knowing your
Yeah.
numbers is a huge advantage in the marketplace.
Hmm. Hmm. Um, I'm not sure how a tire shop works. Do you go to the broken down trucks on the road and replace their tires?
Yes, sir, John. That is another aspect of the business, which in some cases really can be a whole separate business in and of itself.
That
Obviously,
service.
your overhead is a lot lower with that. If you just was a guy who wanted to get a truck outfitted with the equipment that you would need, a compressor, the hammer, the gun, the cheetah, etc., and then just maintain a inventory of tires. versus actually having a physical brick and mortar location. But yes, for us, it's a combination of those things. We have drivers that come to us physically to our stores, and then we also have mobile service guys that will go out 24/7 around the clock, because as Ericka mentioned, when a tire blows on a tractor trailer, they have to get that thing changed. It's not like a passenger tire on our vehicle that we can have it towed and we might get to it by the end of the week or whatever the case
Or
may
we can
be.
ride on that flat till we get to our
Yeah,
next location.
yeah, like they have
Nah,
to
it don't
change it.
work. And that's why, that's why when I used to post all the time those sad faces on Instagram, I'd be like, another blown tire at 2 in the morning. Why y'all calling me like this?
And to your
um,
point,
uh-huh.
you know, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with this from Ericka's content, but the trucking business is great depending on what it is that you're looking for out of it, right? Like if you're going to drive the truck yourself, then in a lot of cases, you can make out decently.
Yeah.
Like she said, a lot of those people that you see with larger fleets that aren't the corporations that are publicly traded are people that are leveraging foreigners and or um, convicted felons. Uh,
Yeah.
and
Guys who
that's
need a
that's
job.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a strategic move, and that's great, because they definitely need work and job opportunities also.
Mm-hmm.
And I even run a program where we give opportunities to those people looking to transition back into society, as well as contributing people of the society. And so, yeah, it's great, but the things in trucking that make the most money are the things that trucking
Repairs.
relies on. So whether that's maintenance, whether that's tires, things to that degree is really where it's at.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think when people, always do the saying, who made the most money off the gold rush? Was it the people paying for gold? No, it was the guy selling the shovel, sitting down watching you go by. Right? It was the
Absolutely.
guy, selling you sandwiches. It was the ladies of the night in them towns that actually made those towns, right? People make a joke about it, but some of the towns out in Utah and out west, while I was out there, they were made by prostitutes, right?
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And so service businesses will continue to make money because guess what? That guy driving that truck can't go without Mr. Johnson's tire company, GTD, getting him those tires because honestly, um, the repair side of things, it's easy to get to $5,000, right? Even though
Quick.
tires is like, hey, 900. Like I had super singles. So
Ooh.
they was like, oh, you blew on the side of the road with a super single. Well, let me look and see if we even got some super singles. Like just rubbing it in my face. Like, let me
Yeah.
see if we even got them. And
Yeah.
so, it was easy to hit $1,000 on just one blown tire, right?
Absolutely.
What John, what you're asking about is called a service repair man. Like you literally can have a pickup truck with a certain type of back on it, and those guys just go out on side the road. And because think about it, your net to get to Love's is another 40 miles. You ain't gonna make it. This guy's basically gonna patch you, and you got to be patched. And so it's just like, hey, hit me with 1,000. It's a whole company. That's a whole business model in itself.
It is.
And those guys make money. They make money because think about it. If they just run on the weekends, or they just run on a Friday, because that Friday everybody trying to drop off that load, right?
Yeah.
If they run up on a Friday, I've paid many of side the road service truck guys,
That's what
many.
we call the sweet time of day.
They're like, oh, it's Friday at 6 p.m. and you want to get somewhere? Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna see if I can get to you in about 2 hours. I remember one of our drivers was Haitian. He was like, man, if I had a tire, I'd change it myself. I'm like, man, don't hurt yourself. Sit down. Like wait for the serviceman to come on. But that's the thing. People think Friday 5 o'clock. Even the drivers who know it's not guaranteed for you to be done at 5, but that's kind of a goal.
Yeah.
So yeah, Q4 ain't messing with you today. I do not buy ostrich boots anymore. I buy only alligator. Um, I remember asking in the '80s what large commercial wreckers
Yeah.
charge. Told me $1,000. Woof,
Yeah.
woof.
Also, again, very lucrative industry for sure.
hmm hmm And so here's the thing: do you guys even do you guys do oil changes or no? Just
So
tires.
yeah, so right now we do pretty much everything except DEF.
hmm Def,
Yeah.
yeah. The pig oil, y'all. That's pig oil's. Woof, it's something else. Um, So oil changes, I'm just gonna give y'all a heads up just on the prices because I know everybody think I'm exaggerating. Oil changes be hitting you about 500, y'all. 500 to 700. Just the oil change. on
again,
these trucks.
it's not your vehicle that you drive around in every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when people ask, "Oh, how they get to seven figures?" Trust me, you hitting up hundreds of trucks for $700. Oh, Tam said, do y'all have a truck wash there?"
Sam, you are like a psychic. That is the next product line that we're
Mm-hmm.
going to be, or vertical rather, I would say, that we're going to be adding to our empire that we're building out for, again, the owner operator community. Yeah.
Yeah, because they come and hit you. Your truck look real dirty. That DOT man looking for you. Like, let me get you.
Yeah.
Let me get them check on the truck. What in this process is something you see yourself doing in the next 5 years, or locations? How many locations do you see?
Great question. So I guess it's only right to let the cat out of the bag on your show.
Mm-hmm.
Again, no one would know this because, again, this is not information usually normally shared, but we're in the process of franchising. And so,
Oh.
yeah, it has gained quite the momentum and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's going extremely well, a lot better and quicker than what I anticipated it would, just based
Mm-hmm.
on all of the meetings that we've had thus far. And so that's going to be next for sure, which
Mm-hmm.
will obviously allow for us to scale the brand very rapidly and expeditiously.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super excited about that. And then truck wash, that's definitely well within our sights as well. So yeah, that is definitely the two major things that are on the horizon for
Mm-hmm.
GTT tires.
So that's amazing. So there's franchising. Will y'all just stay on the East Coast, or where y'all gonna be at?
Great question.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
they're going to be available to anyone
Mm-hmm.
in the nation. But the particular company that we're working with actually has an international reach as well. And so, yeah, potentially you'll see GTT commercial tires popping up overseas as well.
All right, now this Tam be coming with the questions now. She be ready. With the franchise, are you partnering with gas stations possibly?
So if you have an existing location, such as a gas station that would accommodate the space requirements that would be necessary, absolutely. If that
Mm-hmm.
answers the question, I hope.
For sure, for sure, for sure. Listen, they like that's awesome. Um,
Thanks, Golden Girls.
they said so. Talk more about getting Michelin. They don't just sell to any store.
So when you become a authorized dealer for a particular brand, Michelin, Bridgestone,
Mm-hmm.
Continental, Yokohama, etc., a very candidly put, you do get a better pricing as the retailer. So
Mm-hmm.
our purchase orders are more incentivized.
Mm-hmm.
And in addition to that, it allows for us to then work with companies like Walmart and all of those
Oh.
bigger fleets that we normally wouldn't have the either name recognition for or either notoriety for them to even have awareness about us. And so that's the importance of having that ability to be able to support the national account fleets, right? So a lot of those publicly traded companies that you see like Epps and Schneider and things like that, those are the type of deals that they have directly with the manufacturer. And if you're not an authorized dealer, you're not even going to pop up on the radar for them to even potentially entertain purchasing tires from you.
Hmm. Interesting. So he said, would the truck washing be more lucrative than truck storage and parking?
I think,
I think that's a yes, honestly, because you're gonna have more movement. Truck
yeah,
parking, once it's full, the lot is full, baby.
yeah,
Unless you have a lot of turn.
and what that also does is like what you're drawing out there, it caps you on what you can really earn.
Hmm.
Obviously you'll have turnover, this guy's out, this guy's in, but the truck wash is just gonna be a recurring cycle. I mean, you might see the same guy several times during that 1 week, whereas
Hmm.
with the truck parking, it's kind of usually like a monthly fee. And then that's just that, they're parking there and they're in and out as much as they need to be. But for what it's worth, Q497, truck parking is definitely something that I feel is lucrative. And there's some incentives for sure that even Ericka, I'm sure, can speak about as it pertains to the government incentivizing people who want to actually put truck parking in place in different parts of the country.
Yeah. If y'all ever go to Atlanta and just Google truck parking in Atlanta, I mean, like the Nigerians got it on lock in Atlanta, where y'all supposed to be at. The Nigerians came in and was like, boom, 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 boom. um, Yes, with truck washing, I'll just tell you right now, like the guy that used to wash our trucks, he charged us about 80 to 100, usually 80. Just that's clean the outside. Now he could also clean the inside, but that was a different deal, right? But $80, and he'd wash a truck, and he would do like all 10 trucks at one time. So let's just do the math there. If they were all parked there on Saturday, okay, 80 times 10 is what, y'all? $800. And then there used to be a young man that used to clean the inside of my trucks for 60. Now he, after, if they were real dirty, he'd tell me about it, charge more. But 60 to 75 times 10 was what, y'all? 650 to 750. So just to clean all your fleet of trucks, I was dropping 1,300s. Okay.
And
So
that was per occurrence.
yeah, that was
You might
per
have got
occurrence.
that done 2-3 times a month, depending on how
It
dirty
happens
those trucks
sometimes.
were.
Also, when you have people that stink and get out, like you got to pay them more. They be like, "Nah, Ericka, this is a $200 job, right?" So,
Yeah.
so what y'all have to understand is like there's money in trucking, but it's like any big business, right? Like the edges, like the I hate to say death by a thousand cuts, but if you think, oh man, I got 10K, man, I've got a great week. Wait, take off the gas, take
Yeah.
off the maintenance,
Yeah.
take off the this. So I just want people to just understand that part. They said, "Mad props to you."
Thank you
Um,
so much, Junior.
Rex G, I'm not even certain because there's so many opportunities popping up out here for more land. There's a combination of stuff I'm focusing on this year, which is more real estate. Actually, new construction builds, a few of them. Work with a builder out here, and then also looking for more truck parking alleyways because people think I'm exaggerating, but like there's nowhere to park here. Like it's packed here.
If I didn't know any better, I would think Tam worked for the company, man. She is spot on with a lot of these things that we have going
Tam be
on
knowing.
internally.
Tam got the Google finger. She be Googling people. BP Thomas Trucking. Reefer trailer washout is big
Yeah,
money.
yeah,
It has to be. Like, y'all
for
understand
sure.
when it comes to food, they're not playing. They're not playing with the food. You're not gonna get no load if it's dirty. Um, John, I mean, really, it's just space, lighting, and security. It's not. It's and close to the highway, right?
Yeah,
Close to the
yeah.
highway, they got to be able to pull in and out. Sometimes I just need my trailer washed out, not the whole truck. True, true.
Hmm.
Have you seen the truck wash bot that can wash a trailer in 8 minutes? At the end of the
No.
day, I'm gonna tell you like this: those guys on the road, they looking for people. They're looking for good people, reliable people, trustworthy people. So, for sure. Hey, that works. So, with the
Awesome.
franchising, what's your goal number? Like not crazy number, but what's your goal number? Like your first 2 years of franchising. What are you thinking?
So, just off of the forecasting where we are,
Mm-hmm.
without even the franchising being a part of it, next year, 8 figures, and
Mm-hmm.
it's looking high 8 figures,
Mm-hmm.
which we're super stoked about. And so, uh, with the franchising, I believe we definitely have the ability to get very, 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 very close in probably a 7 to 10 year time frame
Mm-hmm.
to get multiple 8 figures up to 9 figures. Yeah.
So the reason I'm asking him this, y'all, because lots of studies show that we're going to be like 400,000
Driver short.
diesel
Oh, diesel
mechanics
mechanics. Yeah. Yeah.
diesel mechanics short. So what I always tell people is um I always tell people at the end of the day, like, pay attention because these markets, and here's the thing: when we hear about colleges, less men going to college, that's not a problem in my mind, as long as they go somewhere and get some skills. So now, if he's got these franchises open up, these young men are using their hands, they're using a skill, and they're getting paid, right? Especially when the diesel mechanics is going to be short.
Yeah. It's I'll tell you again, there's definitely certain retail and brick and mortar for sure that's
Mm-hmm.
adversely affected with just how things have progressed. But
Mm-hmm.
things like you always kind of talk about, the plumbing, the electrician, right? Anybody who knows anything about history knows that nursing and doctors at one
Yep.
point was considered a trade. And so obviously our guys that are the tire techs for sure have a trade.
Mm-hmm.
The mechanics have a trade. And so I feel like industries that the trade coupled with the service that is going to be ongoing in terms of requirement, I believe they're going to really be well positioned to do some really special things financially and in terms of market share and just growth in these next 7 to 10 years. I really do, and I feel like our industry is one of them. I mean, right now it's $115 billion industry that's well on its way by 2027, I believe, to be $162 billion industry, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
truck, bus, and radial tires. That's not considering passenger tires like on our vehicles that we all drive. Agriculture. I mean, there's so many different verticals with it, and so that's why I really think that you know. Generally speaking, the tire business is very lucrative and one that should definitely get a lot more attention from us for sure, because there isn't crazy barriers to entry.
Yeah.
And B, I think it really gives us a long runway on a business model that definitely is going to be heavily relied upon and utilized, especially when you look at 75% of all goods in America are transported on a truck. That's not
Mm-hmm.
even considering all of the last mile delivery that you see in the Amazon vans and FedEx and things to that degree. And all of those vehicles run on commercial tires. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you just look at what is going on, even with the rise of e-commerce and more people obviously making more purchases, which then leads to more things needing to get shipped, and obviously the fight
I
between
know it's a circle.
Walmart and Amazon and other retailers, hey, if they're doing 2 days, we want to get it out to you same day or one day. And so the more and more that stuff ramps up, I feel like companies like ours are just well positioned to really be able to do well.
I want y'all to understand, like, everybody thinks, oh, everything's internet. Well, how does it get to you? How does it get to you? Somebody drives it to you and drops it to you, right? Even with the food service, the delivery, all this stuff, it requires people. I've told y'all, if you look at the stats for transportation, especially in the black community, that's the average black man is driving. Like,
Yeah.
a huge number of black men are driving or
Yeah.
in service, other types of service jobs. So like, it's better to be on the side of things where you can profit from them. You know what I mean?
Tam, I would love for
Okay.
you to get in contact with me so you and I can connect. I just
Hmm.
love your presentation and your energy for starters, and sounds like we definitely could have a really really prosperous conversation. So go to the website, book a consult with me, just so that we can talk, whether it's specifically about your interests or the interests of someone else or whatever the case may be, and we can get into greater details around the opportunity.
For sure, for sure. So part of what I wanted to ask about the franchising, did you guys already have the system in place, or are you and your brother gonna visit each location for a week or two? You ever see
Yeah,
that show? What's that show where there's like bar rescue? It's
yeah,
like, I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
come
yeah.
rescue you.
Yeah. So yeah, we have a really good framework thus far that we've been able to come up with from our own, obviously, thoughts and strategies coupled with the company that we're working with.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, we'll be heavily involved for sure, because at the end of the day, it is still the brand that we have obviously put a lot of energy, time, effort, attention, and focus into. And so I want to make sure that it's represented correctly. And more important than even that is I want anyone who is remotely interested in giving us an opportunity to obviously provide them with an opportunity to get into this industry under our brand, to
Hmm.
make sure that it is completely business in a box, turnkey, and they're going to be able to do well, in that first year. And so I definitely want to make sure that the quality assurance is there. So we will be a heavy part of the process, from going out to different cities and states where these people may be that obviously have interest, and obviously making sure that we're going through the motions with them to set them up with details that we've obviously learned over the last 5 years to really be in a position to put them in a winning uh, position. You know.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Um, Share with us how you're so cheery when we get on. And I'm on your Instagram. You are always smiling, happy. Talk to us. Where you get that
I,
energy from?
I I'll tell you. When you have really been through things in life, and we all have, right? We all have our own story and journey. For me, growing up not in the greatest areas, right? Not with real role models outside of my mother, who obviously is like my hero for sure, like single parent mother. who
Mhm.
definitely did everything in her power to ensure that I was in a best position I could be
Mhm.
to excel in life. And also my brother, who kept me away from a lot of the wolves, if you will, right?
Mhm.
All of the different temptations growing up in areas where there is poverty and different type of activity that's not the most positive.
Mhm.
And so for me, seeing a lot of things at an early age, right? I grew up fast. The reason I forewent going to college is because I personally felt that the contribution of financial input from me was more vital to my mother than me going to college. Right. Obviously, she didn't agree with that and feel the same way.
Mhm.
Fast forward to today, she definitely is in favor of the decision, though, for
For
sure.
sure. For sure.
Mom is completely taken care of, 100%.
Mhm.
Mom doesn't work. I 100% finance her life, and she lives very well. I assure you. And so, yeah, for me, any and every day I wake up, and from myself to my mother, my brother, and several other people, if we all wake up, we're not in a hospital bed, none of us are incarcerated. For me, I feel like everything else is a bonus. And
Mhm.
so that's why I'm just so chipper, because I have a huge amount of gratitude for what life really is, man. I mean, it's a precious thing, it truly, truly is. And I think in a lot of instances, we don't really fully put the attention into really cherishing it until something tragic happens,
Till you
or
lose a foot, the
yeah,
diabetes foot, until
or
something happens.
when something that we deem like exciting happens. And I think,
Yeah.
it's wild when I meet people and they're upset because it's a rainy day. And I'm like, a rainy day is just as great as a sunny day,
Yeah.
because it's another day you've gotten to see. And so I just think perspective on really the opportunity that we really are given each and every day that we wake up and we're not in a compromised position. I just really cherish it.
Man, I listen, y'all don't understand. Like, so many people wake up and have a reason to be negative, and I'm like, you alive, you free, you can walk about, you can get in your car, you can drive, you can. Like, I don't come on this man's internet to have a bad day. I just don't do it.
Yeah.
Um. Also, I would ask you, how many staff do you have right now? What's the staff numbers looking like?
So right now, the Richmond location, we have 12 people.
Mm-hmm.
And for each of the other locations, that's actually going to increase. So we'll ramp up the other one to 15, and then the third location, just because of what we're gonna do, that'll be a little bit different of a nuance than the other two stores,
Mm-hmm.
which is our extended hours. We're actually be running 3 shifts, so we're actually gonna run 17 to 20 people there.
Man, 3 shifts, y'all. Listen, them tires blow all night long. They don't just stop blowing. Okay.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. So I'm trying to think of what was. I had one more question, but I can't even remember. Brain going out. What are some things we can look forward to? Are you going to be doing any like come tour the store kind of little meetup events in VA, or you got some other stuff planned?
great question. So I'll tell you, I've recently I got reached out to by the National Small Business Association out of
Mm-hmm.
DC. And I don't know who referred me or how I got on their radar, but they were really impressed with what we've been able to build and do thus far. And they actually extended me a membership to the Leadership Council. And
Mm-hmm.
so being a part of that group and really getting the inner workings of what they stand for in terms
Mm-hmm.
of small business advocacy. I will tell you, Eric, I am very much so enjoying the business process. Like, I love being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the process of winning, I really respect that. And I think
Yeah.
as a result of really knowing what it really takes to win and understanding, just because you may have won in this quarter or this particular year, that doesn't guarantee success or victory for next quarter or next year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really, really love the game of that all. And so as a result, I'm super engaged with business ownership right now and entrepreneurship. But I will tell you, there's a huge side of me that is very philanthropic naturally. And so I really want to start to pour into other business owners in terms of just things that I've learned, again, like I mentioned, from an operational aspect, because I know that to be a huge burden and really area of opportunity for so many businesses to really be able to stay in business, grow, scale, etc. And so I really want to become a beacon of assistance, if nothing else, to other business owners, as well as shedding a lot of light on people who potentially may want to be in business or are in business and looking to transition into something else as it pertains to how lucrative the current business is, and
Mhm.
obviously being a guide to get them into it successfully. And so for me, you will see a lot more philanthropic and advocacy like roles and activities for me going forward, in addition to continuing to, of course, scale out GTT commercial tires and obviously add additional verticals to what it is that we're doing. Obviously, increasing my real estate portfolio and other things
Mhm.
that I do. But those aren't things that I talk about much just because those for me are more investments. So even though it's
Yeah.
a business, they're investment plays, whereas this is like legitimately running out a business and seeing to what extent I can build this thing out. You know, I'll be very candid with you. I have aspirations to definitely hit the $100 million mark in revenue,
Yeah. Yeah.
not valuation. And so
Listen, dream
big
big.
deal.
Dream big. Aim big. Aim
Yeah,
big, y'all. I really people get frustrated when I talk about that, but aim big. Aim big. I'm gonna bring my nephew by there, because he wants to
please,
grab by. So
please.
I've got some, we'll talk off camera, but I got some dates coming up when I got to hit the Carolinas. So another thing is, how do you much do you think Northwest Mutual played in like that marketing, that prospecting role, like training you? Do you think that was very helpful?
I'll tell you, Northwestern Mutual was helpful for me to really establish a positive relationship with finances. Okay.
Ah,
And
okay.
so I saw so many millionaires that I worked with. And for what it's worth, since we're back on this topic, Northwestern Mutual granted me the opportunity after 7 interviews, literally, not exaggerating, not being
Mm-hmm.
facetious, 7 interviews with 7 different people within the company, which at maybe interviewed 4 or 5. I'm like, is this the CIA or what? Like, who interviews somebody
Yeah.
this many times? But I appreciated their thoroughness because they were taking a huge risk on somebody. I was straight out of high school, no college. Obviously,
Ah.
in the grand scheme of things, I had no network, right, that you naturally
Mm-hmm.
would think of.
Mm-hmm.
And yet I impressed them enough for them to offer me a job. And again, so now I'm working with a lot of millionaires, like real millionaires. Okay. I'm
Mm-hmm.
meeting
Mm-hmm.
with people that are millionaires, and I'm 18 years old. And again, this is coming from a young man that grew up in the hood. Let's just call it what it is, right? So
Mm-hmm.
um that was like a completely different vantage point for me, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, that taught me a lot about just money management, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the cash flow management, and really what was possible because I was really, in offices with people that I felt like, yeah, they're definitely ahead of where I'm at this current juncture, but there's nothing special to them other than
Ain't nothing
the
special.
process of winning.
Yeah.
And I will say, I do feel like it definitely taught me, it started the process of teaching me about, again, respecting the process of winning and really what that really means. um, but the promotional side, marketing side, I think that really came from my brother, man. My brother has always been a hustler, man. My brother has been into all different kind of businesses that you can imagine, from sheetrock to seal coating to
Mm-hmm.
cleaning the parking lots with the sweeper trucks, getting the contracts and doing the Walmarts and cleaning their parking lots.
Love
Um,
it.
I mean, my brother has done some of everything. And so I think self-promotion, self-confidence is just a family inherited thing for me.
Right, right, right.
That I've seen many examples from my mother to my brother, and others that, I feel like I've just absorbed naturally.
Awesome, awesome. I love it. I love it. Listen. Rachel said exposure is key. Seeing things up close change your. It really do, y'all. When you start going to luncheons and volunteering and working, you like there is nothing different except for the process of slow is fast and fast is slow, right? Like completely just doing repetitive business techniques, right? Because even if you guys just stayed steady at your one location for 10 years and
Right.
then just took your extra money and invested again, like people don't understand the sky right there is a limit. So
Legit. And I'll say, to your point, and Raphael, to me, I feel like life is nothing but a culmination of experiences and exposure. And so,
mhm.
and I think if we really, if I can leave you guys with anything today, I feel like beyond just business, if you really operate with that outlook, I think it really will make us a lot more empathetic to what someone else may have as their perspective and their vantage
Mhm.
point on something, which I think then will help reduce a lot of the conflict, reduce a lot of the disagreements. Obviously, you and I have a lot in common. You and I share a lot. And, I'm very closely associated with your journey, and I love it. I have so much admiration and respect for you. And even on instances where you and I may not necessarily have the exact I for I, T for T outlook on something, that doesn't mean we have to, raise our voice. That doesn't mean we have to get upset with one another. That doesn't mean we have to then, kind of demote you in the sense of our depth chart of people that I want to associate with just because we don't have the same outlook on one particular. I don't know one person who has anybody within their sphere of influence, circle, life, friends, associations, etc., where they agree with everything that person has said,
I hope not,
or do. And so I think, just really understanding that, we all have a story and we all have a reason of why we see and do things the way that we do, and try to approach it from a conversation where we're listening to learn and not listening to respond or judge and condemn. I feel like, will just help out greatly in communications across the board in life, not just in business.
For sure, for sure. Listen, I love your energy. I feel like you could do motivational business talks to men,
I
but
appreciate
that's,
it.
I know there's stuff I feel like you could record and put on YouTube, but that's another topic for another day. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's about respect and being able to see both sides. Exactly, Tam. At the end of the day, you guys, like, I want you to understand that there is a million plus ways out here to make income, live a full life, provide value, and take care of folks. A
Legit.
lot of people think, oh, brick and mortar business, they struggling, they ain't making no money. The average business only gonna make 80K a year. I'm like, y'all, please let's go of some of those notions. I feel like we're almost marketed that to death. That, well, they
Yeah.
started a business and it went under. Okay, what about all the other businesses that didn't go under, right? Especially that you guys made it through the pandemic. That's already commendable by itself. So,
Well, I'll tell
uh,
you, last year actually was our biggest year prior to this
mhm.
year, which has surpassed that in leaps and bounds, which is again just an amazing feat. I mean, we really had a really, really, really exceptional run thus
Mhm.
far. We really have. And that's why I keep mentioning like the process of winning, not resting on our laurels. And just because last year was good, we came into 2021 thinking, oh, this will be even better. No, committing to the process and making sure that we give it everything that it requires for us to win again. And
Mhm.
I'll say too, for what it's worth, it is a brick and mortar business. But Kamard does not change any tires. I've never even changed a tire on my own personal vehicle.
I can't
My
see you doing it.
hands,
I ain't gonna lie.
uh, Ericka can attest to this. My hands are very smooth and soft, right? I am not the
He's in the
physical
office.
guy in any regard when it comes to that type of work choice. But you can have your vacations. You can, work from wherever, if you will, the what is it, the location freedom that a
Independence.
lot of the internet in e-com type of business models kind of push and promote. I mean, literally the next 3 weeks, I am going to be out of town, uh, probably for about 17 days out of the month. But
Mhm.
the company is going to
Mhm.
continue to run. The company is going to continue to thrive. And yeah, don't think that you have to go online to give yourself a chance to be
Yeah.
successful financially in today's marketplace. Obviously, it's a very great option. But I think, for that, you definitely really need to find your voice on that too. But this is definitely a business that, according to the government, last year we were deemed essential, so we never had to shut down. And so, similar to online, we had a lot of those same benefits. We saw an increase in business. We never had to furlough or fire anyone. Again, we never shut down. And, again, it was our best year prior to this year. So, yeah, it's a lot of opportunity. It's very much so very lucrative. The 80K a year salary thing that you kind of read.
That's just people, they writing off everything.
Yeah, and I
They
can
trying to get
assure you
over.
that it's more lucrative than that for sure. So yeah, I mean, a really good opportunity to kind of diversify yourself or create something that is a mainstay for you that really has a lot of upside in a long runway as well.
I love it. Now, did y'all just hear John pointed out middleman to millions? He ain't changing tires. He's organizing it and running cash flow and managing the business. When y'all really open up your exposure and see like a majority of business owners, when they, especially in their partnership, right? Because you and your brother, there's somebody with operations, daily operations, and there's somebody that's on the other side of that, just managing cash flow and making sure we have the parts we need to make this thing run.
Yeah.
So when y'all learn that long term, y'all really gonna be dangerous. But Tam said you do know what the difference in tires is, right?
100%, Tam. I promise you, the
Tam like, I
information
don't
that
know.
I and my team deliver to our customers is accurate and up to date.
I feel you. I feel you. Listen, I really appreciate you coming through. Listen, when I come in, uh, how did he get startup capital? I think you said pretty much y'all self funded as far as like you kept just service. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. Chanelli, I hope I'm pronouncing it
Hmm.
correctly. Yeah. So my brother, he started the business, founded the business out of his shed in his backyard with 7 used tires, and legitimately just methodically in increments grew his purchase orders larger to then get to a point where it made sense to get a warehouse and not actually operate out of his home anymore with all of these different strange people coming there, which his
Hmm.
wife definitely wasn't for. It's like, yo,
God bless her.
yeah, this gotta change. But yeah, he just methodically grew it in increments. And then, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, I joined in 2019 and added a couple different things that, helped us increase our customer count, which obviously increased our revenue, which then increased our profit, which then allowed us to continue to reinvest in more staff, more equipment, more tires, obviously. And so that's how we got going. It was really out of pocket. Ericka had asked earlier, have we used any business credit or lines of credit or anything to that degree? And thus far, we have not. However, I
Gotcha.
do anticipate that we will, obviously, just with the rate of scale and expansion that
Hmm.
we're experiencing. So, yeah, that's how we got this thing funded, Chanelli. And Jason, for I didn't miss you. I definitely would love to connect with you as well, brother. So just go to the website again, book a consult with me, even if it's not to talk about you getting into the tire business, and in whatever way that there's synergy there where we can connect, man. I'd be more than delighted to assist and just bring whatever value I can to what your situation is, brother.
So definitely everybody listen. Let's hit. He told you it's free. Hit him up on the free console. Hit him up. Hit him on
Yeah,
the
yeah, I'll tell
Calendly
you,
link.
I,
Hmm.
I have nothing to sell you unless you have a tractor trailer or a dump truck or school bus or tow truck or something like that. As it pertains
Hmm.
to this consultation and the information that I'm willing to share, it's totally for free. And it's just because of how fruitful this opportunity has been for me, not just again personally and professionally, but also financially, which obviously that's a big part of the show. The Classic Climb
Hmm.
blog is obviously about being able to get your financial affairs in order. I do believe this to be a very viable vehicle to do that. And because of the underrepresentation and because of how great it has been to us and what I am firsthand seeing day in and day out, I would just love to get more people aware about it. And if they then, from that point of information intake, think that it's something that they'd like to try out, I'd be more than happy to, again, just kind of hold your hand and guide you through it, because it's going to be
It's a
fun.
ride. It's gonna be a good
With the
ride.
infrastructure bill coming down the pipe, I mean, the amount of business that the dump truck boys are going to have, which obviously, for us, we don't look at the tire business. We look at the business that we serve and what type
Yep.
of growth they're seeing. And so when you just know anything about infrastructure, when you know anything about transportation, and you know anything about logistics and shipping, if you look at it, the industry is very vibrant and strong, which is why you see so many people pushing people to get into trucking. And so
Hmm.
I encourage you guys to look at that as an opportunity to get into businesses that can assist trucking, which I feel
Yes.
like will help you do a lot better, whether that's the truck tires, truck parking, truck wash, truck towing, you name it, truck maintenance,
Listen,
whatever.
all the things that service the trucks, I promise you.
Yeah.
So listen, thank you. Logistics, exactly, right? Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you guys. He is also the sponsor of the Classy Climb Tour and also
Yes.
the channel. And I thank you guys, all the things behind the scenes that make it work. He's one of the big guys that's helped me make it work. And so we'll definitely do something in Richmond, Virginia. I don't know if we're gonna do some kind of meetup or something. We're gonna advertise it to people. Come eat out. Come have a good day. So
Let's set it up. I
for
think it'll
sure,
be
for sure.
nice. I really appreciate you having me on. Literally, such a pleasure, such an honor. I appreciate everybody in their comments and you guys tuning in. And
Hmm.
again, any of you guys, feel free to reach out. I'd be more than delighted to help you guys in any way that I can. And again, everybody have a great night. Stay safe and just remember to practice gratitude, man. Gratitude,
Every
gratitude,
day.
gratitude.
I love it. I love it. Listen, you guys, this is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. You can check out Mr. Kumar Johnson.
Kamard.
Kamard Johnson
Thank you
at
so much, Ericka.
GTT
I appreciate it.
Tires in Richmond, Virginia, you guys. Somebody said it was cool seeing you in DC. I never knew of any black person owning a tire shop. Awesome.
Yeah, far as I know on the East Coast, just because I don't know the entire scope, I'll just say I'm one of very few. But I do
Okay.
know in my state, I am the only one I'm aware of. So yeah, it's a definitely a big deal. I appreciate it, Raphael. Thank you so much. Obviously, appreciate you supporting Ericka and coming to the Classic Climb tour. And wish you nothing but well in your endeavors, brother.
Love it, love it. You guys hit him up on that link at KamarJohnson.com. And I'm just messing with you. It's Kamar, y'all. Hit him up on that link, y'all. I'm just messing with y'all at this point. So, anyway,
No.
this is Ericka from the Classic Climb blog. He's got all his social and his links there. Everybody's laughing in the chat. Y'all know I'll be cutting up. All right, listen. Thank you so much for your time. Oh, you guys, see you later.
I appreciate you. We'll do this again soon.
Soon.